सोने में और बहुत कुछ होने में इतना सा फर्क है, एक बार सोच के छोड़ देने में और लग के कर दिखाने में। मान लेने में कि जिंदगी ऐसे ही कटेगी और सुबह 4 बजे उठ के सोचने में ये अभी तो बस शुरुआत है। किसी मैगजीन को हाथ में लेने में और उसी मैगजीन के कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वीआईपी सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है, वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी, ये एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानकुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा ही। धरती और सातवें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क है। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया, 20 years of ideas.
A very good afternoon to all the dear friends. Franchise India team warmly welcome all of you to our Business Opportunity with Chai webinar series. This is a launch pad of a business opportunity which we are delighted to present to all of you. It's a 45-minute session and we request each one of you to make interactive by sharing your suggestion, feedback and questions in question and answer box created for you. The webinar is hosted by management team of Franchise India, Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am, both leading the team of consultant who are helping day in, day out all the investors in getting the maximum business solutions from our side. And the business opportunity which we are bringing for you comes from Bangalore and they are pertaining to education vertical. Today we have invited Mr. Manmeet Singh Ratan, who is a director at Pole Academy. Then Veera Raghavan, who is again a director. Kapil Paul, he will be joining us shortly. And Miss Suri, she's a marketing head to talk about this business opportunity. They have spared the time today specifically for all of us to share their business model and how they have started their journey. So thank you so much, Manmeet ji. Thank you so much, Veera ji. Thank you so much, Vinika ji, for joining us today. May I request you to start with the presentation?
Good morning, everybody. From Gurudev EduTech, we are presenting here. And Veera and me and Vinika ji is there to show our project and what we have as an opportunity. Should we start with the presentation? So I would like to introduce Veera, who is going to talk about a Montessori to start with. This is a digital era, so we are bringing a digital Montessori to you from Gurudev EduTech. All right, so Gurudev EduTech has started 10 years back, a tech company, and we are the three people here, Manmeet, Veera, and Vinika. All of them, Veera have a 4-decade experience in the field of education, 10 years of experience in franchise operation, and basically a hardcore Montessorian, we call him, and the 10 years of experience of running the Montessori school and working with children from age 2 to 6. Vinika is qualified BA, B.Ed, experience of 18 years in education industry with the various renowned brands, currently handling the project as a marketing head. I've been in the industry from last 3.5 decades, from advertising to marketing to digital. I've handled almost all the platforms, and working very closely with the government is also affair we have handled. So we are starting. So the purpose of the Gurudev EduTech, I feel, Veera, will you please take over from now and explain about the Montessori and the purpose of the company.
Right. Good afternoon, everyone. As Manmeet introduced, I'm a staunch follower of Montessori because in my 4 decades of work with education and training, I've moved from one segment to the other, and I found Montessori provides answer to a lot of issues children face during their education. Can you go to the next slide? Now, coming back to what is more prevalent. What is more prevalent is the nursery, kindergarten, the play homes and daycares, where the focus is on teaching only the subject matter. And of course, they talk about a lot of skills and all that. But today's children need a lot more because they cannot be forced to receive whatever they have been told, and they cannot be forced to just do whatever they have been asked to do. They need a lot more of answers, and those answers can come only they experience the learning, not just hear what is being said. The next one. So this leads us to what we call it as experiential learning methodology, where the child, it's a scientist there, so a child experiences, analyzes, explore, and he comes up with various observations and understands why things are what they are. And wherever he has issues, a trained adult around him should step in to provide him with the necessary support so he completes his learning cycle. And in this way of exploratory learning, the child not only learns how things are, but he also understands and the pattern around him and finds out where all it is being applied. So he also understands the application of what he has understood, what he has found out. So it becomes his own discovery. And because it is his own discovery, there is no need to memorize. He will never forget. Learning should not be forced to be remembered by a person. He will remember it because he has understood and he finds use for it in his life. So the Montessori education is education for life. The Montessori method has been developed and it is in operation for more than almost a century now. And in a Montessori method of education, a teacher is only a facilitator. So they are called Montessori adults. So there is no ma'am situation here. And whatever the child does, it is the work. It is the work of the child. And learning is hands-on, as I said. And a lot of learning occurs through specialized tools. We call them as manipulatives. And these are specialized and scientific as well. And most importantly, the classroom is a multi-age classroom. What this facilitates is a social belonging for the child. He not only looks for children of his age, but also of children of higher age. And even the higher age children gets the responsibility of working with younger ones and helping them. And more importantly, as the child grows and works, they work with more opportunities or more exploratory findings. Whereas the young one keenly watches how does the elder one work, and thereby he is also motivated to go further. So the urge to move forward comes from there. The next slide. And as a authentic Montessori methodology followers, there are various areas where we work with children. We call the first one as the exercises of practical life, where the child gets into doing things that are needed for his own upkeep and also the upkeep of his environment. Then comes the sensorial activities, because anything that he does, it is done based on touch, feel, and understanding. So the sensorial activities give them a lot of understanding about how things are and why things are. And this, Manit, can we go back to the previous screen, please? Yeah, this also leads parallelly into communication, and the communication is many parents feel that they speak only the mother tongue, but here a child can observe and understand multiple languages that are available in the environment. Of course, as an extension of sensorial, arithmetic is also learned, and not only that much, there is science, cultural, art, craft, so there is the whole lot of areas covered. So we call it holistic, both by methodology and by its coverage. Next one. The challenges that the most predominant method, which is the kindergarten-based method, is there is a large dependence on the teachers. The children are made to follow the teachers. And for a person who runs the school, there is a lot of pressure on him to retain teachers. Qualified teachers are hard to find, and once they become qualified and experienced, when a teacher changes, it disturbs children a lot more because they are used to the teacher, the newer person is coming, they have to align with them, and the new one also should be able to work with these children. So there's a lot of alignment that has to happen, which is time consuming and disturbing. And quality of education suffers in the whole hence, there is a need for an authentic teacher who does not change. A teacher, we call them the super teacher, who is always available and who does not change. Let's now look at the pandemic period. During the pandemic, it has really shaken us all. The biggest hard-hit area is the education sector. And to the education for the young ones, they could not go out, they could not learn because they are not still suitable for online classes. But slowly, every parent understood, and the screen-based learning has come to play. What it has led is that children have got addicted to the screens, and the parents have found the best way of keeping children calm is by giving them the mobiles. All these are the side effects of the online or the screen-based learning. So what is the solution? We have come up with a solution which is called phygital classroom. On one side, we take the help of the digital mechanism to ensure that every authentic lesson is available and children work physically materials that are available in the classroom. It's a blend of digital and physical classes. And these are ably assisted by the new age Montessori adults. We call them the new age Montessori adult because they not only know how to work with children, they also know how to use technology to the extent that is needed. So there is no excessive screen time, excessive work assisted by the teachers and the digital teacher. The next slide. Okay, the program execution. This program is available in 4 slots. One is, we call them as the slot for the beginners, which is from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then comes the regular ones, which is 8:30 to 1 p.m. It is also available on an extended time, which is 8:30 to 4 and also 10 to 4. Added, because after the pandemic, most of them have got a lot of work to do and they also work from home. The school is kept open till beyond 4 also. Either it could be 5 or 6 as well. The next one. Next one. Okay. Okay. Now comes the infrastructure setup that is needed to offer this program. At Good Day Tech, we have planned every material that is needed, and only that material which is scientific and which helps the child to learn. Because today what happens is there are a lot of people who sell Montessori materials, but out of our own experience, we have found many of them do not follow the specifications what Montessori method provides. So it puts a lot of responsibility on us to be extremely choosy. And we have identified all the materials, and that's what we're going to bring into the table. And not only that, the methodology. Thirdly, our support in terms of running it. Now, it is not just all the time learn. There has to be a lot of other activities. We call them physical activities. Many school or many parents misunderstand this with playing. No, playing is different, but these are available. The children can go to any parks and play there. But when it comes to a school, it has to be physical education. We do not waste the children time by making them go on slides or swings or rockers and all that. They will learn proper sports here. And we will have a sports day every year, so every child enthusiastically participates. Yes, ma'am. Of course, now this brings with it a new age staff training. Because here the staff will be trained not only on Montessori method of working with children, but also how to use the technology, because that is where the digital classes are going to be available and digital materials are available for observing and retaining the records of the children. So there will be a training that will be given for both Montessori as well as the digital program. Now let's have a sample of how our digital class, one of our digital session will look like. Manmeet, can you share the screen? Can you just share the sound?
Shall we work with the or picture envelope today? What do you see here in this picture? This is a log. Okay. So what is the first sound you hear in log? L. What do you hear after L in log? Yes, it's the sound O. And what do you hear after O in log? Yes, it's the sound G. Do you hear anything after G in log? No. So we've listened to all the sounds in the word log. Shall we take the next picture now? Oh, this is hot. What is the first sound in hot? What do you hear after in hot? Yes, it's the sound O. After O, what do you hear in hot? Yes, it's the sound. What do you hear after in hot? Nothing. So we've listened to all the sounds in the word hot. And this here is a mop. What is this? Mop. What is the first sound in mop? Correct. It's M. After M, what do you hear in mop? Yes, it's the sound O. After O, what do you hear in mop? After P, what do you hear in mop?
Okay, I think we have had a glance of what our curriculum and how we deliver this. And now I would like to hand it over back to Manmeet and Vinika to take over the proceedings from here on.
I would like Vinika to take over and explain you how our management system is going to work. We have an in-house ERP, which is called Enterprise Resource Planning System, a dashboard, and she's going to share that how it is going to work, what all will be done on that. Please, Vinika.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I would like to tell you about the ERP system. The admin system will be handling how we will be handling the kids and their education. This is the ERP. Basically, we'll be having 3 logins, one for the parent, one for the admin, and another one for the child login. So in parent login, they can see the records of the child, how their growth is going. Firstly, the attendance would be marked, how many classes the child has attended and what learnings he has taken. That will be given through the student reports. In student reports, if you see, we have student info report, admission status report. So minor things are covered in the ERP, where the child like fee receipt for the parents, live classrooms would be there. We'll be sharing the links for the video classes, whatever topic is going on in their class, their particular class. The links will be shared, and along with the attachment of the worksheet. It's not only the live class; it would be homework-based practice session would be there, wherein we'll be sharing the worksheets for the children. In ERP, we have all the details of the child, and the details will be given only to the parents, and there would be one specific like guardian column would be there, wherein if someone is coming to pick up the child, it is about the physical classes when we are handing over the child. So it would be there only, we'll be handing over the child only to the parents, or we'll be issuing a guardian's ID also, wherein we'll be handing over the child. Like safety and security is the major thing we are focusing on. The child will not be handed over to any stranger or the person we don't know.
And till the time OTP is shared, nobody is allowed to actually share anything, or kid is not allowed to even go out of till the OTP is shared from the premises. And nobody is allowed to get into the premises, even if it is a parent's without an appointment, or even only accesses for the outsiders is up to the entry guard room. That also through the security system permissions. So now, why, Anshul, are you there?
He's not here.
Oh, okay. So we are going to present you now how the Indian preschool segment as an opportunity which is coming with a new education policy, and working on that. So here we are showing that what is the kind of business which is opportunities which are coming in, and what kind of growth is happening in the segment which is called preschool. So previously it was mostly education at home, and later on it has gone to the schools which are locality based, and the basic education was giving, and now it is more of a corporatized, and parents are looking for more professionals and more organized and managed schools than the previous time. So despite 13, there are opportunities there with the growth of metropolitan residents are growing on. So despite 13 million children who can attend preschools, only 1.4 million, that is 10% children currently attending a preschool. But with a growth in category among 2 tier and 3 tier, the rate is growing with the 25% year on year for the admissions. So here another opportunity which is with the new policy has come. The foundation is grown from not only nursery, KG or prep from 3 years to 6 years, rather it is going up to second class now, which is 3 years to 8 years. There's a strong market potential. Due to pandemic, the preschool was not mandatory. It is now becoming mandatory. You can teach a kid at home. So enrollment to the live classes while the pandemic was going on was very low, but now it is coming back, and opportunities for a developed and a new technology is coming up in very high scale. Right now in North India, there are few cities which have again called online classes as a legal certification system, and they are allowing the students to take proper certification with the online classes also. Yet we are witnessing existing time and the growth, and the more aware for the parents to send kids to the as young as 2 years. So what is happening, because parents are working, couples are going to work, so the age of starting kid to a school has come down to even 2. So the opportunity starts from age 2. and with our aggressive marketing system, we start following the kid from very start age, and by the time he's 2 or 1.5, I think we close down the admissions and prepare them mentally, parents, to come and join the school with us. Focus education with 9% of annual household spend. So imagine the kind of money which is spent on education. It is now going to be 9% of the household income. And as per the chart, high income and high growth is there. So population TG is growing 475 million to 600 million over a decade. And this chart shows clearly that in the rural, it is also gaining a momentum. Developed rural, rest urban, and a metro. So where we are targeting category 1, category 2 metro, tier 1 cities, the contribution share is the highest. Sizable and sustainable opportunity available for the players with the right offering. Cluster approach, we are looking for metro tier 1, metros and tier 1 cities, to start with Bangalore and tier 1 cities of Karnataka. That is the initial interest, and later on we'll definitely be going to tier 2 cities and across other cities in the country. So the cluster approach is taken. We are right now looking for a Karnataka-based metros as well as tier 1 cities. So brand is set to grow 200 centers by 2025. If all goes well, and keeping the pandemics in mind, we have online and offline, like Veera just explained, phygital. So we are fully equipped. Even if some pandemic is going to be there, we are fully equipped to go offline. There is no need. There will be a home kits available for the kids once they enroll with us, and regular same education which they are taking in the schools, coming to schools, will be given at the home. Veera, you want to put in something in this? You want to?
Yes.
So we are right now looking to maximize the opportunity in one cluster and then take it to the other cities. This is the brand positioning, where we are looking at the middle segment, the bridge to premium preschool chain offering.
Sorry, Manit, I was briefly out and I'm back. Sorry about this. So in case there is a disturbance in the child attending the school, the class, he still will be able to view the classes at home also, and there will be a home kit, so he will be able to work from using the home kits as well. So the child wants to take a break and he is away, still the school goes along with him. But there is no pressure on him that he has to attend every day, because the classes go individually for individual child. It does not go that, it does not happen that if he doesn't attend the school for 15 days, he misses the classes. No, it is child-centric. Every child will be followed and every lessons will be attended. That's what I wanted to say. Back to you, Manit.
Brand positioning, when we come, we have shown this chart that what other brands are there and how we are taking this further. And so opportunities are there, and we are a premium category brand, but available in the middle segment fees, which is around 75, between 75, 70 and 75 to 1K. So the regular kid which is there for 4 hours with us is going to cost 70,000 to a parent, and in 1 year.
So Anshul will take some time to join in. By the time you can explain this.
Fair enough. Okay, let me explain this. This is an expansion by franchise route for called FOFO model, where the model is going to be franchise owned and franchise operated. So in franchise owned, franchise operated model, which is the third one here, I hope my cursor is visible. The franchisee will have the property, the interiors, the equipment that we will be supporting and suggesting them to have. And whereas all the operations and stocks, we will be guiding them in terms of what all need to be stocked and how the operations will be carried out. And of course, with the help of our marketing and the local marketing that will be done, there will be enough registrations that will be done, which will guarantee the monthly income for them. And then this franchise-owned, franchise-operated model is applicable in all formats of franchising. And this is going to be based on the margin of the sales. Next slide. Okay, what is the franchisee role and what is the franchisor role? The franchisee, after we shortlist the franchise partners, there will be an ongoing centralized marketing efforts will be done. We'll be supporting them with IT infrastructure and training to recruited staff. And of course, we will be available all through the week for support. The franchisee makes the investment and he does the local marketing to achieve enrollment and the local efforts to achieve the enrollments. Of course, the aerial support is given by us, and he manages the day-to-day school operations and maintain clean and hygienic, because this is most important for the children. And so there is an enhancement for the brand and recognition. All the rest in terms of your administration is done using the ERP. So as far as the franchisee is concerned, there is no issue in terms of having to maintain the accounts, day-to-day things. The automation takes care. Of course, our super teacher is going to be available with you, along with the locally recruited teachers. The classes will be held for the children, and for franchisees, it's a piece of operation. What is it? Okay. And the setup cost, we need to set up this franchise unit, we need around 3,650 square feet area. And this is the area breakup, how the various environments, rooms, principal rooms are all located, totaling to 3,650. It is just an approximate, so anywhere between 3,500 to 4,000 will be the requirement. And the interiors and fit outs, about 11.5 lakhs of investment. For equipment, around 12.5 lakhs. And business promotion and offers, 1.75. Franchisee fee, about 5 lakhs. And about 30 lakhs of investment, out of which, and the security deposit is about 6 lakhs, and the working capital needs are about 9 lakhs. So the total cost of the project is 45.75. Manmit? So the reasons to partner with Pearls, there is a huge opportunity out there for grabbing. And India is the fast growing largest economy, second largest population, and the affluence of individuals have also been expanding. And everyone is looking for evolved preschools, not the ones that have always been. And approximately 1.5 million students in the preschools. Now, only a 10% penetration is there, and growing awareness about the importance of preschool. Of course, there is a brand strength. We have been, in all these 10 years, what we have done is we have not focused more on how many children we will register. We have basically focused on how well we can offer the education. So we as an institution have a very good standing with respect to quality, and we have put together all our understandings, learnings, and experience into a module which can be replicated everywhere. So, and it is available both in terms of general class, regular classes, as well as the digital classes. Okay, there will be support in terms of pre-opening, in terms of location selection, center setup, furniture procurement, staff selection, training, and marketing and enrollment assistance. And post-opening, regular ongoing training programs, consistent marketing support, and audit and support system will all be, and how we to plan our extracurricular activities for the children. Okay, this is basically the chart which shows what all are going to be available in our support. Okay, we have the franchise development, we have the operations department, we'll have the marketing department, finance, and regular visit supports. And for franchise development, there will be a development manager who will be involved with every franchisee in site selection, center setup, equipment sourcing, and stock training. And in marketing, if there will be a lot of agency tie-ups, B2B franchise leads, and B2C student enrollments will be provided to the franchisees. Of course, as far as the finance management is concerned, we will be providing with all the assistance in terms of how to maintain the finances. There will be frequent audits by us, and also there will be automated information system that will be available, which the franchisee will be able to get a glimpse of at any point in time. Of course, there will be a lot of legal support that will be needed during the setup time, the legal entities that need to be set up, and the registration that we need to do. So all the legal support system will be provided, and our HR team will help you in getting the right stuff for your center.
I think we are through with this now, and I request if there is any questions of participants. And
Thank you so much, Manmeet ji, and thank you so much, Veera ji, for putting this presentation together and presenting it to all our investors who have come in. And friends, I see a lot of you have joined in, and there are many who are also watching this webinar live. So request all of you, if there are any questions that you have on the business model, or maybe a property that you own, or a specific location that you would want to discuss, please use the Q&A box, and we'll take these questions on your behalf with the leadership team of Pearls. And as you know, and before I take these questions, friends, I'd like to thank the team for putting such a detailed presentation for all our investors, and also as experienced educators, you know, and they have experience of you know, more than about 30-40 years each in the education. They have placed a very big emphasis on the foundation building and also experiential learning, which is experience-led learning, which is the focus with Pearls. And Montessori focused learning, you know, has a lot of emphasis on self-directed activities and hands-on learning and collaborative play, which many other segments or, you know, categories in preschool do not focus on. And they also have very interestingly positioned their brand as a bridge brand. So this is neither too premium and neither a value brand. So they've you know, presented and position themselves as a bridge brand, which also I would say is very, very inclusive. And this is one segment which attracts a very big audience or segment of students, children coming in. And if you look at the education sector overall, this has always been a very big industry, a sunrise industry, and our society in India puts a very huge premium on how the education is consumed, how education is acquired. And spending on education is for every parent in India, you know, one of the single most, you know, largest outlay for a household. And since we are at a time, I would also say there's a big opportunity today, and it's time that we leverage the timing that we have today, because there is a big demand today which is there in the market. There is a big mind shift which is happening, you know, from unorganized chains to trusted and organized chains like Pearls. And a big challenge with unorganized sector is also because these are next door schools. So there's a lack of development of effective curriculum, you know, which is not even researched well and not even designed well. And Pearls has laid a big emphasis, focus on developing this entire curriculum, which is also digitalized, and they've made it hybrid, which is available both, you know, online as well as offline. Second important thing, which is also important to note, is, you know, today, if you look at the demand of preschools in the market, there is a big demand in the market, while the supply of preschool comparatively have reduced in the last 2 years. And also which would mean that when I say supply has increased, supply has reduced and the demand has increased, I'm also saying that today there is a big infrastructure which is available with a lot of schools which might have not fared well, and especially I'm talking about a lot of these unorganized schools which have not fared well and they have shut down. Hence the entry barrier is very low when you get into a category like this, and a lot of marginal players have gone out of business. So you have ready infrastructure which can also be taken over. And also I would say this is also an opportunity for people who might be running their own small the schools, and they would want to convert to a opportunity like this. And when you do that, your gestation is very small because you already have maybe a subscriber or a student which is coming. You already have a location. So this also is something which I would say is worth noting. Third, I would also like to add, when we look at education as a business or any other business, we need to look at one aspect. And a lot of people were not looking at this segment last couple of months. And now there is a big demand all of a sudden which has come up. So any business that we look at, and especially the business of education, is always a business, which gives you dividends over a period of time. And we don't do this business for a period of 1 year, 2 years. These are long-term businesses. So we need to look at businesses, from their future fitness point of view. And fourth, capacity utilization, especially when we talk about, schools like these have to be maximum. So they've also ensured that their asset is sweated out, and preschool infrastructure can also be integrated to make it inclusive for other activities which can be done maybe after school hours, which can also ensure that you have good returns on that particular property that you have. So overall investment outlay is about 30 lakhs, and where the area requirement is about 36 odd square feet. Unlike many schools I would know, which even start with 1,500 square feet, but the model they are looking at, they need enough space, which would be a combination of ideally maybe open and closed spaces. So I'll request friends, any questions that you have, please ask, and I will take it up with Veeraji and Manmeet. And to start off with, Veeraji, I'll ask you, because if you look at the market, there's a big demand which is in the market, but if you look at other chains which are existing, there's still a big competition that exists. And I know of a chain which, and we get a lot of inquiries from Bangalore. And I was also reading some time back where parents had actually demanded preschools to be opened up in the city of Bangalore. So, how have you seen these, last 2 years evolve, and, and how do you see yourself, keeping an edge over the competition that is present in the market?
Good. Yes, the market is very crowded. The market has got all combinations of possibilities, like branded ones, franchised ones, local players, the neighborhood schools, and all that. But the parents have understood now that what matters more is an educator.
Yeah.
It is not just a school, because everyone time and again have been looking at telling their children, and every parent have undergone this, that our parents wanted us to be different, whereas the methods they employed to educate us was the same. So there is a saying that if you keep doing what we have always been doing, we will always be what we have always been. So they know that if we go into the same chunk of going into the kindergarten, nursery, and rhymes and learning and memorized and learning, children are not going to be ready for the future. India has got huge opportunity now, because the world is looking at us, and we need to get ready for the future, not the future as it used to be in the past, but the future of what we are going to become. India is going to become the global leaders, and we need to produce leaders. The leaders can be produced only when they can use their education to invent, to discover new things, new way of life, new products to offer, and everything has to be for tomorrow. And that can come only, whatever I learn, I internalize. That can be done only through scientific experiential learning. So
Absolutely.
this is where is the source.
Absolutely, Viraji. And the second set of question I would like to focus more on, while we discussed on the investment area and the breakup of the investment, I like to understand more on the operation side of the business. And when I say operation side, I would like to talk about, how unit economics for a preschool, segment actually works. And we've talked about a capacity of 100, which I saw in the presentation. So we're looking about, 100 capacity. So how long it takes, for maybe a school like this to fill in and reach that number, and what is the right timing, what is the gestation for somebody who wants to start, how long does it take for him to start and launch, because I feel the timing today is right for the new session to begin. So if you can elaborate a little bit on that, and also a little bit on the expense side, operating cost, and maybe a break even, and the student inflow gestation.
Fair enough. Manmeet, are you there?
Yes, I am there.
Yes.
Meera,
Would you like to take
take
this question, or you want me to answer this?
go ahead. I'll come in when I'm required. You
Fair
go ahead
enough.
with how it
All
was
right.
going.
As we have said that we are positioning ourselves in a market where the fees is around, on an average, around 70 to 75,000, and we will be advising. We will be, depending upon the area, location, and all that, we will be suggesting the parents. Suggesting the business partners as to what type of a setup that they should be coming up with, and what is the minimum infrastructure that they have to keep, so that their return on investment should be anywhere around 60 to 65% over a period of 3 years, 3 to 5 years. And overall, I'm talking about internal rate of returns, IRR. And to begin with, we are expecting that they should be breaking even somewhere anywhere between 25 to 30 months.
And typical expenses, Veeraji, if we talk about student population, we talk about 100, what do you think should be an ideal time for a school to fill in? What do you look at the first 3 months, the next 6 months, and, by the time we hit the first year, ideally, how many students should the school intake? And the second typical, are expenses, what is the ideal rental that you would suggest? What is the teacher, salary structure that you would recommend? And also the kind of skill sets we need for the school teachers and their training, how do we even undertake and plan that?
See, the initial period will move from anywhere between 25 to 50 children over a period of 3 to 5 months. And it depends upon both the effort of us, because we are putting together a very good centralized marketing program, which will penetrate into every area. And that we call it as the aerial attack. And the war is always won at the ground. So that will be done with the help of the franchisees doing the local, being visible to the people locally, and they are able to grab the entire benefit of the advertisements and things that we do. Plus, they also have to spend a little bit on door-to-door advertising, which will be local to their particular area. And of course, with respect to recruitments and training, we will be having a training division which would train every recruit, because we'll be helping every franchisee with recruiting the right persons, and the training will be given by us, not only on Montessori but also using our digital Montessori assets. So the teachers who will be employed will be completely knowledgeable in using our methodology and working with the children in the franchise center.
Sure, definitely. And Viraj, another important thing here, I would like to also have your opinion on that. And like I mentioned today, a lot of infrastructure is available for schools. And would you look at the possibility where these infrastructures can be converted to a Pearl school? One, and second, would you also be able to help and assist maybe investors who want to do it, and maybe these infrastructures can be made available for them to occupy and run schools?
Yes, there have been a lot of people who have been approaching us as well, that during the pandemic they became inoperative, and then they would like to start again, and they are looking for where to start and whether we can be a part of a different branch. And there are pluses and minuses in this, because the plus is that there is already an existing infrastructure. We always focus on people who have their own premises, and that will be the best way to start. And secondly, yes, people who have taken infrastructure, the rentals on the premises on rent, that is also can be looked at. provided the economics will work out. So it will be dependent on case to case basis. We need to find out what they have in that location and what are the things that they have which will help us to make use of and make them go into the future. That will be a kind of a turnkey project that we'll have to work out with each of them.
Sure. Viraji.
I just want to put in one thing here. When we talk about the location, I think the focus of our organization is more on a location. I call it 3 times.
Yes.
The location is the one thing which makes you in marketing, your 50-60% job is done if you are at good location. If you are in you're having by default eyeballs, people moving around near the main road, and those locations is very important.
Yes, and I would say captive also, apart from being at the prominent locations, maybe a good neighborhood which has the captive audience students, because especially at this age group, a lot of parents look at schools which are close by. So that is something which can also be helpful. And Manmeet or Veeraji, if you can also maybe help us in understanding which are the ideal spots or location or some dynamics or characteristics of the locations that you think would be ideal for looking up, one. And second would be on the profile of people or partners that you think, come as a great fit, to run and operate schools.
Okay, I'll take this question to begin with. The perfect location, in my opinion, there does not exist a perfect location. What a perfect location becomes by we making it perfect. But of course, it has to be close to the residential areas. But earlier, what happened when we look at past 20 years, 30 years back, the residential areas were separate and the proper commercial areas were different. But now every area has become commercial and every area has become residential, because now a lot of high-priced apartments have come in every area, and you've got all the brands available in everywhere. So as I said, what we should look at is primarily to make use of the location that we have and explore how much of business it can attract based on the locality and the neighborhood, and then give a specialized solution for each of them. So every franchise solution will be different based on the locality.
Definitely. And friends, since we come to the close of our webinar, I'll also request all of you, we are planning a discovery day for everyone who's looking at the opportunity. And we would be more than happy to even take you through a tour of the existing property which they have. And anybody who's outside Bangalore would like to meet, maybe e-meet, or, we would be more than happy to facilitate a tour and also maybe a meeting on Zoom or through a telephone. And before that, I'll request all of you friends, whoever is looking forward for a call or a meeting, do share your credentials with us. Even our teams at Franchise India would reach out to you, seek the information so that the 30-45 minutes that we block are productive. And before we close, I'll request Veeraji, Manmeet and Vinika ji, if there is any remark or a message that you want to share with the entire audience that is present, listening both live and on Facebook today. Yeah.
My single point of suggestion, the future is becoming digital. The screen is going to go into every household. Parents have understood it, but how to make that screen useful is what is our concern. And so we have come up with Phygital. So every child, when they open the mobile, there is no need for them to view the rhymes and videos on the YouTubes. They can look at what is useful for them to work. And that will be provided by us. Added, the kit that is going to be there will make his home his own school also. So when he goes back home also, he has a place to work with. So it's a work from home for him also. So it's both working from, learning from school and working from home. This is what is going to be the future, and this is what we are going to be providing.
Absolutely, absolutely.
We cannot avoid child to handle the digital things, but we want to, instead of making it destructive, we want to make that time productive by going with Phygital. We want them to learn while they are on screen. We don't want to kill their time and energy on that.
And I have one small word. The only purpose of bringing Montessori to the kid is just taking out of the regular structure of education system which is being followed from years, and we want to make them independent thinkers, entrepreneurs and leaders. That's the only idea. That if the generation is taught, you see, they say that your entire life is decided from year 1 to year 5. So if we are able to shape that right, possibly we'll be able to lead.
Absolutely. I second that. And friends, please reach out to us. And I would also say physical schooling is the essence and the foundation of learning. And when students, children, they interact amongst themselves, they learn, they grow, and they evolve. And it is only through peer-to-peer learning, they evolve and they, fasten their learning process. And what has happened in the last 2 years in this industry has actually made, the market very ripe for credible players like Pearls. So with this, I'll request Ashna if you can take over and with your concluding remarks. And friends, we are doing a discovery day on 26th. And if you're looking forward to meeting, aligning any calls, please reach out to us. We'll do the needful. Thank you. Over to you, Ashna.
So thank you so much, Manmeet sir. Thank you so much, Veera. Thank you so much, Kapil. Thanks, Miss Suri. Thanks, Sonia ma'am, and all the dear participants for joining in today. Do connect with us at our business hotline number, which we have shared in the chat box. I'll repeat for you. It's 97176-83838. You can also write to us at feedback@franchiseindia.in. We welcome all your suggestion, feedback to improve our services. You can easily go to all our social pages to understand different kind of the association and events we do. Also, if in case you wish to join Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am at their LinkedIn IDs, we have just shared the information on the screen. And tomorrow under our 12 p.m. webinar, we are bringing the brand which carries the legacy of 80 years in market, Kala Niketan. Yes, that's the brand we are bringing tomorrow. The team would come and talk about what kind of the business proposal they are offering in market. Do registration right now. Registration can be done either by visiting us at our social pages or connect with us at the business hotline number. Thank you once again for joining in today. Have a safe day ahead. Keep learning. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.